Another a really important part of recurring cash flow is cash flow itself, not just the recurring part of it, but when you get the money. And what I encourage people to do is to try to get payment in advance of services, at least get a deposit, so you're getting money before you're actually delivering the product or service. Or you get it at the time of delivery, and that's fine too, but make sure you get it. The tricky part is when we have folks that bill. So you've provided the product or service and then you're going to bill them. And any of us in business who've done that, and I've done this myself, sometimes you end up chasing people down, and it's really hard to start to be able to get that money back, and you have to send them letters, and sometimes you have to get into litigation, and can get a little bit ugly. So this net 30 just means they pay you within 30 days of service. Pretty common. I have management consulting contracts that's the way they like to be billed. I've actually trained them to, or encouraged them to accept an every 2-week billing cycle, and they've been pretty good about that because as small businesses we need cash flow as soon as possible. So that's one way to make sure that you always get that. By pre-selling, and this is, you see the new books coming out, there's oftentimes pre-publication specials and things where people will buy the books in advance, which is really, really interesting and great. Same thing with any type of ticketed event. Just think about concerts that you go to or anything like that. You always pay in advance, and we don't even think about that. It's completely fine, standard practice. Or anything you order something online, you pay right away, and then you receive. So there's precedent for that. You should just go for it. And this includes passive products. Make sure you have some type of passive product or some type of other type of like a how-to training video, something available for folks if that makes sense for your business, so that you do it once and then you get recurring income. Retainer fees can also work. You can say, all right, for $500 a month, I'm going to provide this level of service for somebody, low level of service or whatever it is, and make sure that you're available to them. That can get tricky though, because usually the retainer, they're sitting there laying low for a while, they don't really need you, and it's fine. And the minute you have a huge project and a bunch of clients, then something blows up and you've got to honor your retainer as well. So that's a little bit crazy sometimes, but it can yield dividends. It can really work for you if you manage that properly. And then the other thing is to sell advertising on your website, or wherever it is, a Facebook page. You buy ads, or you can create different things where you can sell advertising to the local community and make sure it's all in the target market and you become known for that. So those are some different ways. And I do want to say though, it's really, really important to stay focused. This is the however slide. Do not offer multiple products and services if you do not have one selling well. Because what happens is most of us as entrepreneurs, we're very creative and we love to do different things. We love to do a variety of things. And so we create different programs, we create different services, different products, we put new things out there all the time. And unless we're established and people are starting to expect and respect the new product lines or the new offers that are coming out, if people have doubt about all of these different services or products, they buy nothing. So it's really important to stay very focused on your best seller. And you have to ask yourself the question, what can I generate, what can I offer now that will generate the most revenue in the least amount of time? And you want to do that. So make sure that you're not offering so many different products or services that people are getting confused. I've done that. I'm guilty of that because I love creating all kinds of new things and just throwing things out there and see if they stick. But if you don't have a large marketing team to go out and make sure that they've segmented the market so that they can sell to different parts of the market that specific product or service, then what happens is you end up marching around and talking to people about 3 or 4 or 5 different possible ways that they can work with you, and it just gets confusing for people. So pick your best seller, and when you go to a networking event or when you go, when you put something together in an email offering, make sure you're only offering one thing at a time. because that way people can hear you. And when they hear you, they're like, yes, that's what I need right now. And maybe they'll have a conversation, and when you ask them what their real needs are, it may turn out that they would want something else from you as well, and you have that opportunity to pitch your other stuff. But don't do it all at once because it's too much. So the take-homes from this video are really to make sure that you generate leads on a consistent basis. So you have that lead generation process really working for you. And I know sometimes it's daunting and it's exhausting, but I promise you, if you do it and you keep at it, it will really work for you. And then really consider the different business models that may work best for you. Do you have a passive product or service or something that you can develop? Are you leveraging your time? Are you leveraging your ability to serve people so that you're not constantly doing one-on-one? I'm not saying one-on-one is bad. I'm saying one-on-one is excellent. But be sure that you're charging a premium for your time so that you can continue to keep that cash flowing. And when you have the cash flowing, you can do all kinds of other things like hire a new person. But you really may not want to hire somebody until you can see that you have revenue being generated on a consistent basis. Sometimes we do have to take a leap of faith, just make that investment in our business and know that we have enough coming potentially through the pipeline to be able to pay for that new person. But it's really nice when you start to see that process work and you're feeling a little more confident about the cash flow coming in every month. And this really doesn't matter where you are in your business. It could be, you can be a business startup, or you could be, $10 million a year. We're always going through that same process of generating leads, stoking that fire, so to speak, of the sales pipeline. And we all know when you stoke a fire, you know how hard it is when you first put a fire together and you're getting all the little kindling, and then you have your big logs and you have all the stuff, and you put the newspaper in there and then you light the flame, you blow on it and all of that. It takes a little bit of energy in order to make that happen. And then once it's there, once you have that fire in place, you just throw a little more kindling, throw another log on the fire, and you just stoke it. And it'll go a long, long time. It's the same thing in your business. So kind of think about that, making the fire analogy and stoking that fire as you move forward in your business. And then the last thing is to make sure that you adapt and adjust your business model. So stay focused on what do your clients need from you, but think about ways to best serve them. So if you're getting complaints that your price is too high or whatever it might be, it could be that you don't have the right target market because they don't honor that price, or it could be that they would honor that price, but they're not quite comfortable enough with you yet, and they'd like to experience you at a different level. So let them have a lower risk investment point and get them to experience you at that level, and then hopefully over time, if they trust you and you're delivering your greatness in an amazing way, they will buy from you in the future at the highest level. So think about that. And then finally, you just need to keep the faith. And you just keep doing what you're doing and just get in there and be consistent and be energized and do what you need to do to take care of yourself so you can continue to offer your greatness to the world in a really big way. So thanks so much for listening to all of this today, and I wish you the best of success, and I look forward to our next conversation. Thank you so much.